Detroit is a wreck. It's a future that has already happened in some parts of the city, where a population exodus has decimated once proud factories and crowded city blocks. From 1900 to 1930, the burgeoning auto industry powered a growth spurt in Detroit. The city's population skyrocketed more than fivefold to more than 1.5 million inhabitants. Abandoned for 40 years, Detroit's Packard plant, 5 stories and 47 buildings, is a sad reminder of a once thriving car industry that pumped life into the city. The Packard name was once synonymous with luxury, cranking out everything from convertibles to limousines. But the public stopped buying its designs. Burdened with a crushing debt, Packard closed its doors. This is what nature achieves in 40 years without people.
In that 40 years since the people have left, plants and animals have colonized the area.
Even the plant's roof is slowly turning into a forest.
Notice the trees right along the wall. Well, how did they get there? Basically, windblown seeds wedge themselves into the crack that almost inevitably exists where pavement meets a wall. These are goldenrod. The goldenrod is a pioneer plant. It's very old, from very, very ancient times, and it will grow in almost anything, as many gardeners know.
Without windows, the inside is beginning to look like the outside.
We're up on the 5th floor now of this old building. What you're seeing here is the original hardwood floor, and you notice that it's bowed upward. The wood has been soaking all through the winter, and as a result, the wood has expanded. Underneath the wood, there's actually quite a bit of what you would call dirt. You can see it here. You can see it here. You see it here. Basically, what's happening is dirt is blowing in from outside. In another 30 or 40 years, most of this wood will be gone. What you're going to see is basically a giant flower bed.
Where workers once assembled Packard engines, saplings now take root. Moss has begun to colonize the floorboards. Meanwhile, the harsh climate is eating away at the plant's foundations.
The entryway wall itself, over time, mainly due to freezing and thawing, has warped away and come out this way a little bit. As it did that, it actually cracked this guard. This guard is actually a bell of very thick cast iron. Now, on the other side of the entrance, we see the logical conclusion of that, and you get some idea of the thickness. Can you imagine basically that a little bit of water, a little bit of ice getting in here can actually pull this apart and cause these kinds of cracks? What's happened here is the bell is pretty much totally worn away because it's cracked out.
The seasons haven't been any kinder to homes once cared for by people. As competition from foreign automakers intensified, 1 million residents fled the urban center from 1950 to 1980. Left behind are blocks and blocks of abandoned neighborhoods. Of the 137 square miles that make up the city, 60 don't have people. What's left are just ugly reminders of former elegance.
This building here has been abandoned for about 40 years. The harsh climate of Detroit accelerated the deterioration of this building. In this case, the freezing and thawing during the winter and the fairly heavy rainfall during the year were what finally destroyed this building.
This brick and mortar structure decays from the top down.
Weather, especially water through the roof, has pretty much destroyed it. What we're looking at is actually a building with very solid brick walls.
Water seeps into the brick, expanding and contracting as it freezes and thaws, prying it away from the facade. In another 75 years, the entire building will crumble into an unrecognizable heap, and nothing will remain a century after that.
Brick and mortar is basically clay and limestone, very much like the surrounding soil. You would have to be an expert to know there was ever a house there.
It doesn't take long at all for a building to crumble in this harsh climate. This school has only been abandoned for 2 years. As the population continues to decline in Detroit, there are fewer students to teach, and schools keep closing.
This is one summer and 2 winters in Detroit have done this kind of damage. The paint is meant to be an interior paint. It's not meant to withstand a lot of water, and it's not meant to withstand a lot of temperature changes. Now, the ceiling is plaster. The reason it collapsed is, for the most part, water coming in the classroom above. Now, over the next few years, the rest of the ceiling will collapse. And one thing that would happen is the plaster dust itself catches dirt, catches seeds. It's not a nutrient itself that would nurture plant life, but it could be the beginning.
It may start small, but green life grows into a powerful menace. Even a once mighty fort in Texas can't withstand this advancing army.